This is one of the world's most dangerous borders, holding neighbours India and Pakistan apart. 2,000 miles long, it slices through extraordinary landscapes and divides millions of people who once lived alongside each other. I'm Babita Sharma. 70 years ago, my family, as Hindus, were forced to move into newly independent India.
Primarily identify with being British. That's who I am. I was born and brought up in Britain. But I'm also really passionate about my culture as an Indian person.
I'm going to be travelling the border from the Indian side.
Wow, it's mind-blowing.
I'm Adnan Sarwar, and my parents, who were Muslim, were born in what is now Pakistan.
I've got to know what it means to be a Pakistani and what it means to these people here living as Pakistanis, what it means to my mum and dad to be Pakistanis.
I'm going to be travelling the length of the border on the Pakistan side, a country that's just 70 years old.
Have you ever seen water like this? Look at the colour of it.
When Britain gave India its independence, it split the nation along religious lines, carving out a new Muslim state.
Since then, there have been frequent conflicts along this border that, to this day, very few can cross.
You can't know Pakistan unless you know partition.
They're just saying we want independence. Go India, go Pakistan, we just want to be free.
Yet, after 2 generations apart, these two countries with such strong ties to Britain still have so much in common and so much to celebrate.
It's fantastic. We're going to have a great night here tonight.
Oh my gosh, I have just found a whole new family I didn't even know existed.
We're making 2 journeys with the same goal, to discover how a line on the map has altered the destinies of 2 countries that were once one.
For the next 5 weeks, Adnan and I are going to be travelling either side of the 2,000-mile-long border that divides India and Pakistan from south to north. The state of Gujarat marks the start of the border here.
I really just want to find out how India has managed to repair itself, or has it repaired itself after all this time? You know, 70 years on. Where are we? What is life like for these people here on the border?
My journey starts in Adipur in the south of Gujarat before I head east to the little Rann of Kutch. I'll then be heading north towards the border into the mighty Thar Desert, covering more than 500 miles on this first leg. The small town of Adipur is 80 miles from the border. It's a very special town, created as a home for the refugees who fled Pakistan at partition. But it has an even greater significance for India and the people of Gujarat.
On the right side, that's the Gandhi Samadhi, which has the ashes of Gandhi.
This place has the ashes of Gandhi. That's quite a moment, actually, to pass somewhere where Gandhiji's ashes are scattered.
Deepika tells me, a son of Gujarat, Gandhi convinced the local Maharaja to donate land for a refugee camp, which became the town of Adipur.
And amazing to think that in 70 years, what was once a refugee camp has now become a whole town.
We are inside Adipur right now.
What's happening here?
Should we go have a look?
Let's go and have a look. What are they doing? Charlie Chaplin convention going on here. My name's Babita.
Hi, I'm Twinkle.
Nice to meet you. So, what's happening here today?
We're celebrating Charlie Chaplin's birthday.
And it was a local Charlie Chaplin fan who was the brainchild behind this wonderfully bizarre celebration of his birthday. But there's an even more charming side to this story. In 1931, Gandhi met Chaplin at his house in London. It was a meeting between two of the most recognized icons of the 20th century. And how fitting it is that this Charlie Chaplin festival, which has been celebrated here since the 1970s, is in the resting place of Gandhi's ashes.
You see so many Charlie Chaplins here in the town. Because Charlie Chaplin is something who taught us to laugh even in spite of all our problems.
I don't know what to say. The fact that you've got a day dedicated to Charlie Chaplin.
Absolutely, the whole town. We are here, we have fun, there'll be party, music. So it's going to just get crazier.
Twinkle tells me they took a British-born Hollywood icon, added a bit of Bollywood masala to create a unique festival of their own. And it's put this former refugee town on the tourist map. Gandhiji, who is resting just behind me, may well be smiling down on this parade. And perhaps he's even proud that his own legacy lives on in this very unique way.
Oh my God. If I don't come home back to London, Mum and Dad, I love you!
I'm 230 miles west of where Babita is in Adipur. My journey starts here on the south coast of Pakistan in Karachi. After spending some time getting to know Karachi, I'll be travelling as close to the Indian border as I can and follow it into the Thar Desert, a total of 300 miles. I want to explore the side of Pakistan that very few people, including me, ever see. And Karachi, the largest and most important city in this country, is its beating heart and the best place to start. Just bought some Tibet cream. It's a cream that my mum used to use a lot, and I think that we've still got this in the house in Burnley. Wow. It smells like childhood. Oh yeah, it's fresh like snow. Karachi did pretty well out of partition. Almost 1 million Muslims from all over India came here. Intellectuals, artists and entrepreneurs arrived determined to build a new nation. And this creative energy has turned a town of around 500,000 into this, a vibrant metropolis of over 20 million people.
This guy's got no petrol in his motorbike, he's just hitching rides with rickshaws. It's brilliant.
Like London, Karachi is diverse, and even though it's a bit of a bubble, everything that happens here has a ripple effect on the rest of the country. I think that one of the best ways to understand a society is through its cultural expression. So I'm on my way to Clifton, the upmarket part of town. Abid Merchant, a former banker, established this public art gallery 3 years ago.
This is, contemporary art from Pakistan.
Yeah.
So it's basically the very emerging artists whom we believe have the potential to make it big in the international market. So people will see a different side of Pakistan.
23-year-old Amna Rahman is one of Abid's rising stars who is showing her work here.
Oh, wow. Would this be seen as controversial in Pakistan?
To some, yes. The more you're covered, the more you're playing safe.
You're acceptable if you're covered, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there are other works which are more explicit.
Oh, wow. Are those pictures on your Instagram?
Not on my Instagram, because we can't
You can't what? You can't?
exhibit it very openly. It's not even safe for me.
So the art you're making it's making the situation unsafe for you.
Yeah.
But you're gonna keep doing it.
Till I'm here, yes. You have to create because, that's how this place is.
I reckon Amna's pretty brave to be taking such risks for her art. And she's certainly not alone in challenging the conservative culture around her. For the last 10 years, Abid has been supporting artists with a similar rebellious streak. And I've just talked myself into being invited back to his apartment to see his private collection.
Come on, Adnan.
Oh, wow.
Apartment.
Wow. Oh, my God. This is a lot better than my flat.
Walking in, you'd see it's just another apartment. So that's Karachi.
I live in Notting Hill, and I've got a flat which is about this size. Just
Okay, you have a studio apartment.
It's basically a bedroom.
Okay, it's bedroom. That means you can't hang art in your apartment.
I've got limited wall space, yeah.
Well, I've got limited wall space also, so that's why you see.
It's huge, mate. That is really great.
Sexuality and freedom has always been a part of Pakistani art, right from, if you go back to the 40s and the 50s. Maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, the global art market wanted to see Pakistani artists making violence and terrorism as a subject.
Because it was easy for them to understand. Yeah.
So anything which has a global language would be easy to understand.
Wow. Oh, I know this one. This is Liberty Leads to Freedom.
Now, the artist has appropriated liberty into his painting, and he calls it Azadi Ki Devi, the woman of freedom. And that's basically Kandil Baloch, leading the people to freedom.
A young woman from a rural town, Gandhi Baloch became famous as a controversial social media phenomenon. She directly challenged prudish attitudes towards women. She was kind of a Pakistani Kim Kardashian until her selfies with a religious leader were seen as a step too far.
He is too good. Oh my God, I can't.
And so her brother killed her.
And then we have the famous Maulana, who took selfies
Yes,
with her on
yeah,
the
yeah,
left,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
see.
This is the power of art, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the power of art.
kind of thing happened, and then it transmitted this feeling into people, and somebody needed to do this, to put it out there, and then hopefully this will be seen.
By art, you can change the entire community.
And it's not just artists and galleries who are doing it. This creative expression is spilling out onto the streets. And it starts right here on the catwalks of Karachi.
Let's rejoice in our colourful past, exhale and take a plunge into the world of colour.
As a Pakistan, it's all about the media telling bad stuff about the country. So, this is very, very important for us to portray ourselves in a way so people can like us.
The way I'm dressed right now, I just won't go anywhere in Karachi dressed like this.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
yeah.
So you'd cover your arms?
I will cover my arms,
Okay.
yes. Which is fine, because we live in an Islamic state. Living in an Islamic state, it says to cover yourself, right? So there's nothing bad in that.
I completely recognise this tension that Pakistanis feel. We want to be modern, but at the same time we don't want to entirely reject our Muslim heritage.
You can eat the West, you can pretend to be French, you can pretend to be Italian, but you'll never be. Your finger in the pulse will always be what's happening in Pakistan.
The fashion industry here is potentially worth billions. And what's interesting is that the biggest market for Pakistani designer clothes is India. These young models and designers have become sort of accidental ambassadors for their country.
How many people have you got on Instagram? I think I'm going to beat you here.
Oh, definitely
yeah.
would.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Definitely would.
Okay. How many have you got?
It's 45.8.
45.8?
I believe, yes.
45.8 people?
K.
K?
Yes.
I've got 223.
These shows are advertised through social media and they're hugely popular, but the locations are often kept secret for fear of being targeted by extremists. There are limitations of what they can get away with here, but they're always finding creative ways around it.
When this society wants to change, and the women here want to change, and the men here want to change, they can take notes from elsewhere, but that's not in a patronising manner. It's just like people in the West are still trying to work out women's rights and other people's rights. The inspirational people we've met already are giving us hints of the future, of what this country is going to be like in the future, because they're the people who are going to make this change.
While Adnan delves deeper into the bustling city of Karachi, I'm still in Adipur, but I'm about to set off on my journey.
It's 6 a.m, very early, and I have no idea what I'm up to today because I met Twinkle last night at the Charlie Chaplin procession, and she's invited me on an adventure, and I said yes, but now I'm thinking, what on earth have I got myself into? And the only people awake are the cows and me. No, this isn't for us. This is slightly strange. Wow. It's an all-female bike club! Yeah!
It's kind of, you know, brotherhood or sisterhood.
Sisterhood!
Why should men have all the fun?
Exactly. So,
surprised, right?
so cool, so awesome. I mean, I just loved it. And as soon as you saw these hot women take off their helmets, you're like, yes, this is India. This is India today. I love it. It's amazing. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. Let's do it. Ooh.
I'm going to hitch a ride with Twinkle and her gang for the next part of my journey. The plan is to skirt along the border east of Adipur to the flat lands of the Little Rann of Kutch, about 160 miles away. I think the reason I'm so taken by these bikers is because they completely go against the stereotype of oppressed Asian women. Economically independent, these women have the freedom to choose this lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, my bum
I'm
hurts
so glad you are enjoying
Hey! That's amazing. Yeah. This is your bike?
Yeah, I go down.
The dirt track bike?
He's my boyfriend.
He's your actual boyfriend?
Yes.
You live and breathe the
yes.
bike?
Yes.
And how old are you?
22.
Wow, so you are young. Oh, you're the youngest.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her.
So you're the youngest, who's the oldest?
Prince.
Prince?
Yeah.
What?
Grandma. Grandma, you're a grandma?
I've got a 4-year-old grandson, 2 daughters.
Wow. Can I ask you how young you are?
I'm just 60.
Pince has been riding a motorbike for 30 years and has been a trailblazer for her younger friends.
Every bird wants to break free. Nobody wants to be caged. In India, what happens is the woman is taking care of parents, then she's taking care of kids, family, and then when the children grow up, she's taking care of the grandkids. So when does she live her own life? I'll be riding till the day I die.
I think these women are really something, but this is still a patriarchal society, and domestic abuse and violent sexual crime here is amongst the highest in the world. And these women refuse to be seen as just daughters, wives, or mothers.
The fact that these women are doing what they're doing, it surprised me, it's inspired me, and I think that they are setting a trend for what's going to follow, because the youngest is 22 years old, the eldest is 60, and as one of them said, she wants to start a revolution. And why wouldn't you? I feel like I could take on the world now.
What I'd love to see is women in both India and Pakistan feeling like these bikers, believing that anything is possible.
It's not only the women of India who are fighting back against the rampant misogyny of the region. I'm now on my way to Liari. one of the poorer districts of the city, to visit a local club where they're running a surprising project for women. This gym was set up a year ago with funds from a major Pakistani clothing brand to empower girls from this poor community.
तो मतलब ये मेरी बहुत सख्त मुखालफत थी, लोग हंसते थे, बातें करते थे, लेकिन एक परफेक्ट काम था, उसको मैंने समझा, जान माल इज्जत की हिफाजत फ़र्ज़ है।
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਲੱਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੌਣ बेस्ट बॉक्सर है?
हाँ, क्लब में तो तकरीबन सारी बच्चियाँ बहुत अच्छी हैं, लेकिन ये कि बहुत मुस्तकिल मिजाजी के साथ जो है वो रज़िया बानू आती है और वो बहुत मेहनत करती है। तो मतलब ये कि मैं ये कहूँगा कि रज़िया बानू जो है इज़ द बेस्ट। ईद का दिन जो है ना वो कंटिन्यू आती रही है। और
Razia was brought up by a single mum. She's decided to leave her job and take up a career as a professional boxer.
I have played 3 matches and 2 of them I won by knockout. I think that I'm #1 in all over the Pakistan. I can fight with any girl.
Scarily, this 19-year-old lass from Liari wants to take on this boy from Burnley.
Oh, she's going to kick the crap out of me, isn't she? Right, okay.
Very good.
Vanish the fear, then you can fight with me. Come on, the fear is in your mind.
Yeah.
And in the reality, it doesn't exist.
The fear does exist. It's existing right here.
No, it doesn't exist.
It's a universal truth that sport is one of the ways of escaping poverty.
And what do you want to do when you stop punching me?
I want to win gold in Olympics from my country.
Easy.
Have you got any water? Let's,
Do it like this. Do it like this. Yeah.
Thank you. It's interesting. Do you think the government of Pakistan is supporting women in this kind of thing?
No, government of Pakistan is not supporting, but made so many promises, but never fulfilled their promises. They can do something for the youngsters, for the women, because in our Pakistan, so many women are not having opportunity for studies, for education. They are bound because of era, because of restriction from home, because of so many things. If they will not remain silent and they will fight for their rights, definitely nobody can tease them. And I'm not afraid of anyone. Next question.
So I guess in a way, Razia is fighting for change, not just for herself, but for her community. She's part of a minority of African Pakistanis.
Pakistan is constantly surprising me. Just look at this sign here. Bombassa Road. It's not a traditional name for Pakistan. It's just quite fascinating. It's just like you've got a lot of people here who look clearly Pakistani, what I think Pakistani is. And then there are kids who look clearly of African descent. It's just absolutely fascinating that there's such a cultural mixing pot here.
This street is named after the coastal town of Mombasa in Kenya, because most of the people who live here arrived from East Africa. These African Pakistanis have been in the Indian subcontinent for hundreds of years. And at partition, as Muslims, many left Indian Gujarat and joined the established community here in Karachi. Islam forbids any form of discrimination, which is why there's no caste system here. But the fact is, these people face racism.
यहाँ पर शीदी हमें नफरत के हिसाब से बोला जाता है। शीदी यहाँ पर उसको शीदी लफ्ज़ को बिल्कुल उन्होंने इतना कमतर महसूस करवाया है।
निगर बोलते हैं उनको।
नेगरोस, अब उसके ऊपर भी बड़ा जो है ना वो इतना।
Yaqub Kambrani is a community leader and activist. He's fighting for their African heritage to be recognised as part of Pakistan.
हम इस खित्ते के असल बासी हैं। हमें इस पर कोई वो शर्मिंदगी नहीं होती कि नहीं जी हम काले हैं तो क्या हुआ। ये वो क्या हवाला है? वो हवाला ये है कि दुनिया में जितनी भी काली नस्ल के लोग हैं वो हाम बिन नो की औलाद है, हज़रत नो के जो बेटे हैं। अब अगर दुनिया की काली नस्ल हाम बिन नो से, उसमें शीदी भी हैं।
There is no consensus about how these Africans ended up here. Some say they were slaves, others that they came as traders and stayed. But this gives us an idea of how long they've been here. The tomb of Mango Pier. This is the final resting place of their most revered saint, a Sufi who died in the 13th century. Here they offer prayers of intercession to Allah through their saint. But the shrine is not the only reason people flock here.
Oh wow.
The crocodile जो है
There's like 30 crocodiles down there.
कितने?
There's 200. 200.
It seems these Sufi Muslims believe the crocodiles have magic powers. Legend has it they fell as lice from the saint's shawl, and when he stamped his feet, they turned into crocodiles, so he kept them as pets. For hundreds of years, devotees have brought sacrificial meat as offerings. The keeper of the shrine is specially ordained, and only he can feed them. It's a tradition that's been in his family for generations.
That is unbelievable. I've never seen a crocodile in real life, and there's 4 just lying over there.
Over the years, African Pakistanis have integrated. Married locals and their vibrant culture has become part of Pakistani life. But this performance, sung in both Urdu and Swahili, shows that while so much is changing in modern Pakistan, some traditions are too important to let go.
There's always been a pecking order on both sides of the border. Here too, the darker the skin colour, the lower your status. But India has an even stricter social hierarchy that keeps people in their place. The caste system is unique to Hinduism, and it dictates almost everything in an Indian's life, from who they can marry to the job they can do. Although it's illegal to discriminate against people based on their caste, it's almost impossible to escape those divisions because it's all tied to our names.
What's your surname, Deepika?
Same as yours, Sharma.
Ah, you're a Sharma. Yeah. We're the same. High five. Tops.
We have the uppermost caste in Hindus.
The Brahmin caste.
The Brahmin caste, yeah.
I know that the Brahmin caste, and obviously is considered a holy caste. It's descendants of the priests.
Yeah. My great-grandfather was a priest. My grandfather was a priest. My entire village is a priest village. Like, what the hell is that about?
Is that because they're not allowed to be other castes? Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's literally the priest
We
family.
have not got a single priest in our family. We have corner shops. So nothing holy about that. Sharma's rule, though. We're pretty cool, I think.
I don't know, we're pretty hated as well, so.
Hated by who?
By all the other castes in the country. I was like, we're horrible people in that sense. Because we have so much power. No? Don't you think so? We're the oppressors.
Oh, Deepika.
We are.
Okay, now I'm thinking about my family background as the oppressors.
I'm going to break the tradition. I'm going to marry a Muslim boy.
That's quite a big deal. If
it's a very big deal. It's not like all our families are like, oh wow, you found this girl or you found this boy. It's just like, oh shit. So it's a big problem.
I've never given a second thought to what caste my family come from. Being born and brought up in Britain, it's something I've never had to think about. After travelling north, I've arrived at the little run of Kutch, 70 miles from the border.
gosh, we really are in the middle of nowhere.
It's an incredibly hostile environment, but somehow people manage to carve out a living here.
This landscape is really harsh, but on the odd occasion you see this, which are these huge mountains of pure white.
Thousands of farmers make a living from this landscape, and what they farm is salt. This is part of one of the largest salt deserts in the world. The region contributes 20% of the nation's most used seasoning.
It's like we're walking on like a slush. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is so strong. That's definitely salt. That's not snow, that's salt. Wow. आपने टेस्ट किया पहले?
काफी salty है.
That's really salty. Oh my gosh.
There's 100,000 people working on the salt farms. The majority are known locally as Agorias, part of the low-caste coolies. They've been doing this job for centuries, and the cost is high. They risk blindness, skin lesions and tuberculosis as they each move up to 17 tons of salt a day into piles ready for collection.
Devji is saying that you have to put this on to balance on your head, but for me, I think the biggest thing is just trying to lift it off the ground. Can you take it a little bit out of it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that didn't go so well. Let's see if I can... Okay. Oh my God. I mean, I'm laughing, but this is seriously back-breaking work.
Usually each pound would weigh 20 kilograms, but I'm struggling with just half of that.
बहुत भारी है.
बहुत भारी है. इतना भारी है हमारी सिर दुख रहा है अभी.
ये तो हमेशा का काम है, वही लोग कर सकते हैं. बहन जी आपका काम नहीं है ये.
They're starting work early to avoid the heat and glare of the afternoon sun. It's fierce. Temperatures here can hit 45 degrees. For all this back-breaking work, they'll earn just over £2 per tonne. And of course, it's the age-old story. Once it's processed and sent across India, this salt will fetch 10 times more. It's a seasonal industry, and so for 7 months of the year, Mr. Chaturbai and his family live here. One of Mr. Chaturbai's many tasks on the farm is to rake the salt to ensure the water is evenly evaporated.
It's so sharp. This salt, it's almost like glass on the soles of your feet. Oh, मुश्किल है ना? It looks so beautiful, but the reality is that it hurts a lot. That's just after a few minutes. You see how red it's gone? I mean, I don't know how you do that every single day. Chatur bhai, ये तो बहुत मुश्किल है. दिन ब दिन, महीने ब महीने नहीं. कैसे?
काम तो करो पड़े ना.
Yeah.
खाने के लिए. इतने काम है नहीं, आज काम है हमारे.
Shukriya. The job has to be done, he said, because if he doesn't do it, then the kids aren't going to get fed. That's the reality.
I find it pretty shocking that in a country with the 4th largest number of billionaires in the world, there are people here, like Mr. Chaturbai and his family, who are bound by their caste to this life of hardship with little chance of escape.
Grandfather did it, father did it, son does it. The girls will also do the same work because every 6 months they have to come here into the desert with their mum and dad, and that means that they don't go to school. Because they don't go to school, this is what they'll be born into. It's a never-ending cycle. There's no other choice.
This is one part of the border where change is nowhere in sight.
I've barely scratched the surface of Karachi, but for me and my local producer Khalid, there's a long journey ahead. Next stop, the Thar Desert.
I think I've got like so much to tell to your mom.
About what? About what? What? There's nothing to know.
About everything. What's the hidden secrets of Adnan?
Outside the city limits, Sindh province is mostly barren. There's no reason to stop here.
Khalid, I've got something very important to ask you.
What's that?
Where the hell are we?
You got a map with you?
Yeah. Mate, I was in the army, mate. Come on.
Okay.
Right, okay, so this is Karachi. We've just left Karachi.
Yeah.
Where is the Indian border? This is
the green line is
the Indian border.
That's
here.
international border. We are about 30 kilometers east of Umarkot.
Wow. We're about 45 miles from the Indian border.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd do that in less than an hour, won't we?
Yeah, we can,
Just be there.
but we can't. So, like, it's you can say it's an hostile border. It's not a friendly border at all.
It's weird, because Babita is just over there about, I don't know, a couple of hours over there, 3 hours or whatever she is, you know. It's crazy, isn't it? Are we going to keep going that way, or are we going to keep
Let's
trying to
try that, how far we can go. And
Let's go and see the border.
Get as closer as possible.
OK, cool.
So we're going to divert to 0 Point, one of the crossing points on the border. There's only 3 places on the entire border between India and Pakistan where you can cross. This is going to be one of my only chances to stand on the border or even get close to it. Security is getting tighter as we get closer.
Hello, Captain.
I'm told it's as much to do with the fear of local terrorists as cross-border attacks by Indian forces.
The police are taking us up to the next checkpoint. That's about as big a ticket as you need, you know. We don't need a visa. We could just roll in with these guys and then just see what happens. Let's try and get there. So we're going to try and carry on.
At the moment, we have got a permission to go as close as 5 miles short of Indian border. And if we are lucky and if the permission comes through, we might be able to touch it.
Ha! Khalid is doing his best to get us permission to keep on going.
Less than 10 miles from the border, just play music, you know. It's brilliant.
It's quiet and peaceful here. It doesn't feel dangerous. But in 2016 alone, 28 civilians and soldiers were killed in border attacks between these 2 countries. Some fear one serious incident could trigger an all-out war between South Asia's rival states. We are getting closer to Kokrapur, the last town before the border. Twice a week a train runs between the 2 countries, but only Indians and Pakistanis can use those trains, and they need visas, which can take months to get.
We are inching on and on and on towards India.
A foreigner like me has got 0 chance of getting past a 0 Point. But I'm really keen to see the actual border up close for myself.
So we are about to enter Kokrapur. So it means that we are about 7 to 9 kilometers inside, close to Indian border.
5 miles to India. Are we going to try and get on the train?
We are not allowed to.
I just say I want to see it. I want to see India. Why can't I see India?
Well, it's not sort of that sort of border where you can go for a sightseeing.
Do you think we'll spend time in an Indian prison?
Not in Indian prison, but in Pakistani prison.
In Pakistani, Nick. All right, nice one.
This is the last security post.
Oh, the Rangers.
It's controlled by the Pakistani Rangers. And we've been ordered to stop filming.
What's that?
Disappointing.
I hope to see the border on my journey, but miles from anywhere there's no chance of a hotel here.
Morning.
Good sleep?
Oh, really good sleep. But it was beautiful because you can lie here and look at the stars. But I'm sad today because we're actually leaving Gujarat. But we've got to move on.
It's about, what, 100 miles from the India-Pakistan border?
120 miles.
Wow, so we are so close to the border where we are now, and the landscape has completely changed yet again.
We're hugging the border and travelling 400 miles north through Rajasthan and the Thar Desert, just across the border from where Adnan is.
Unable to get to 0 point, I've moved over 100 miles north into the Thar Desert that straddles the border between Pakistan and India. In a remote part of this strange landscape, I'm meeting the Beel tribe, who've lived here for hundreds of years. They're Hindus, and while many left at the time of partition, around 450,000 of them are still here. What I find fascinating is the reason why they stayed. The fact is, these Hindus feel they face less discrimination here because in India, they're amongst the lowest caste.
It's like a different world. It's a complete different world. But it's still, it's Pakistan, you know, there's so many Pakistanis and this is one of them.
It may look idyllic, but life here is a struggle. They get very little support or attention from anyone.
Sit close to it.
Yeah, and then hold like that.
Ah, okay.
This has meant that they've continued to live much the same way as they did before partition, side by side with Muslims from the region. They live and work together, and even intermarry.
Quite proud of that, actually. There's quite a lot there, I think. Is that enough? Thought I'd done all right. He's got loads. Where's he got that from?
One goat.
One goat.
Yeah.
Right. Nice one.
Hasu is the matriarch of this family and lives with her son Gandhi, his wife, and their 8 children.
Ram Ram. Ram Ram, Babu. How old is Babu? Kitne saal na de?
3 years.
He's 3 years old. Yeah. So it'll be 5 when he can touch his ear. Yeah. Babu, how old am I? This is 5. Then this 6, 7.
Beel children are formally promised in marriage at a young age, but the wedding doesn't happen until the girl reaches puberty. Women show their marital status by the number of bangles on their arms. A full arm means a wife, a bare arm a widow, and half an arm for a respected elder. I've been invited by Ganji's mother into the women's hut. This is a rare privilege for a non-family bloke. Traditionally, Beel women aren't allowed to mix with men. They even eat separately from their husbands.
Hasu, Hasu ji, has your marriage been successful? My mum's been trying to get me married for a long time, and I'm going to be 39 this year. and I just need some advice about getting married.
वो मुर्सो है अकलदार तो भाई पटेल गामी अजापी चुंडा था वो भलाई रला था चुंडा
Am I respectable in my area? I'm big in Burnley.
सुठी था गोले था वो जे आदमी ना था आप गोले तो सगा तो कैसे पचा जे मारे बास पसंद थे बोल भलाई सुठी जे अपनो अंगण बीजो बुआरी सवारी कुल सुठी होई तो वर घर चुप होए तो सुठी था वो
सही
गोरी हो एक सफा एक लाइन ओड़ी ना गोरी हो भाई सफा काली ये मां हो
गोरी
फुटरी हो आठे चुप करो कंजरा एड़ा लाइन ना करा वो अपनी खुशी है
Maybe my luck's in. My mum will be so pleased. I may just have found that special someone.
I'm also heading to the Thar Desert, but on the Indian side. We can't meet up because of a fence that's in place, due to the fear and suspicion the two countries' governments have of each other. The only way to travel on from here is on the back of a camel.
Namaste.
Moti Singh has lived here for over 20 years, and he's going to be my guide.
That's Bablu and that's Kalu.
I think I should go for Bablu, not Pintu. Pintu doesn't sound too happy.
Yeah, Pintu is a little unhappy with the morning.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, and that's front. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All up.
Okay.
That's pretty high up.
That is pretty high up.
Yeah.
Please don't run away, Bablu.
At 120,000 square miles, the Thar Desert spans 4 Indian and 2 Pakistani states.
This is so beautiful.
And even here, the border is a reality.
And so here we can see, you said, the Pakistan border from this side.
Yes, there's a whole lot of border security and the army now. There has been a tension for almost now 15, 20 years.
It's really hard to think about that tension when it's so calm and peaceful here. Is it a different atmosphere there?
No, it's the same. Same desert landscape, same people, same language. When there is no war, it's the same. Everybody just doing their work and all the villages just going around doing their bit.
The only thing that separates India and Pakistan in this region
is the fence.
Since the British left 70 years ago, the Thar border has seen many skirmishes and military standoffs. Fearing Pakistani infiltration, in the 1990s, the Indians put a fence on the border.
It must have destroyed lives.
Yeah, it did. I mean, that's what happens when you have a partition and when you have two different nations. And these are things which will happen. I mean, first statement of Churchill, I think after when India got independent in 1947, the first statement of Churchill was that this country is not going to survive because there's nothing which unifies this country.
Which India?
Yeah. You've got Hindus, you've got Muslims, you've got Christians, you've got Sikhs, you've got everybody here. But the partition could have been avoided. A normal common man does not get affected. But then when the security of the nation comes in, when there is an element of the matter of Kashmir, which is, then everybody wants his country to, I mean, nationalism is there in every Indian.
Moti's pride in his identity has made me question my own country's part in creating the border.
Knowing that Britain was the orchestrator, I suppose, the mastermind of what happened between these two countries.
Yes.
And I am a product of that.
Yes.
I'm still trying to settle it in my head.
I met a lot of British who come here. They asked me the same question, do you feel that we were responsible for this? I said, yes.
when you are ruling in this place, and if you leave a country which is divided, the ruler has to take the onus on. You cannot say that we were not responsible. You were.
Do you think we'll ever see a day where there will be no fence, no security forces, no army patrolling the region?
I don't see it. They were both countries which have moved into different directions.
The fence will never come down.
Yeah, it will never come down.
There are dangers on both sides of the fence, but for the Beals, the biggest threat is water, or a lack of it. The elders are using traditional methods to predict the rains. It's not an exact science, but it's what they've always done, and it's all they've got to rely on.
The circle in the middle is to predict how much crops they will get, depending on which month the rains will come. And I think the first month's winning at the moment, so it looks like the first month's going to rain because it's just leaking out.
रण में असांजी हिंदुस्तान पाक थे कॾों थी राहत आहे जेकर असां 5-7 पीढ़ी थी गए अॻे असुल थे गाई जे हाणे अॻे असां सस्ता थी माण्हू थोड़ा था वो थी पूरा ये महंगाई तरह करे असांजे कुल मुल्क पहुंच उहे कर गयो है कि घर में एक घर में 20 भाती है 15 भाती है हाँ उहे महीना कोई शइ झले को नहीं हाँ हिना जो है लाभार जाता वो मिशन कुल हाणे करे असां को मजदूरी थे को नहीं है शहर में सही हेक थे अनपढ़ा असां कोई माण्हू पढ़ल कोई कोन पढ़ल कोई कोन हेक अनपढ़ा थिया उहे करे पहुचे थे कम है अगे बरसात पाते जाम तरह फसल थी तो जाम थी तो है.
They are desperate to stay on their ancestral land, but climate change and scarcity of water is threatening their way of life. It's really sad. I think Pakistan would just be a lesser place if this unique culture died out.
Like the Hindu Beals in Pakistan, this Muslim shepherd has found himself on the wrong side of the border. Ghaffur is one of the 200 million Muslims who've carried on living in India, just as they've done for centuries.
सारे आपके बैठे ये 200. Wow.
For generations, his family have been shepherds.
This is a whole family business. Everyone's involved.
Until partition, their flock grazed freely without borders. Now the family is split in two.
आपके परिवार पाकिस्तान में है अभी?
हाँ ये मेरा नंदाना वो मारा पीर वो.
His mother is from Pakistan.
वो मिलना अपना दिल गवर्नमेंट जावर नहीं दिल क्या करेगा बता.
What his father told him that there are two countries now, and the country where your mother is from, now that's a different country, and neither can you go there nor can your mother go there. He's not even been there even once.
तो आप सोचते हैं कि यहाँ आप हिंदुस्तानी है या पाकिस्तानी?
हिंदुस्तानी है. हम तो दया बदल में यहाँ जो.
He doesn't consider himself Pakistani whatsoever. You are 100% Indian.
Proud Indian.
Proud Indian. Like him, he's saying we are the same.
You're the same.
He is so happy. I would hope that I have the same positivity for life as he does.
जैसे आप जिस तरह से खुश मिजाज हो, मैं भी ऐसा बनना चाहती हूँ.
हाँ वो तो मैं आपका.
वो तो आप खुद करिए, मेहनत करिए.
आप खुद करो मैं तो. हाँ.
आपसे मिलकर बहुत खुशी लगी. Thank you. शुक्रिया.
शुक्रिया.
शुक्रिया. Sorry for keeping you from the sheep.
तंग करे.
ना कहीं तंग बढ़िया आया तो ठीक है मिला ही हुई.
मिलना हुआ.
मिलना हुआ.
I got to meet you.
तुम्हारा वहाँ पाकिस्तान में दादा परदादा रहता. अपने अपने कद आप होती कौन.
That's so nice. Thank you.
मिलनी तो हुई. हाँ.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting person. Yes, very interesting.
Thank you. It's really nice to meet you too. Can I hug you? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking to him, Ghaffur Bhai was amazing because he just said towards the end, your grandfather was from Pakistan and your dad was from Pakistan, and it was fate that you would go to England and then finally do the whole circle and come back here. And it's the first time I felt this way, that it is like a full circle journey. There's me from Reading in Berkshire coming here into this desert in Rajasthan and meeting a man like that who is just a few years younger than my dad. They were both born at the time of partition, but yet he's saying to me that we're welcoming you here with open arms, and we are the same, which is really lovely. Just like the Bhils in Pakistan, Ghaffur believes this is his ancestral homeland.
And for both, land is central to their identity. Neither of them have a reason to leave it, just because 70 years ago a border was drawn through their country.
Pakistan is so diverse. These beautiful, beautiful, cool people who are just teaching me more about what it is to be human and how to just get on when things are hard. Look at him. That's Gandhi, whose family I stayed with last night. Gandhi's family have shown me love, and I keep thinking about when I grew up, and we used to have this division between Hindus and Muslims, or Indians and Pakistanis. I'm not supposed to get on with him, but last night we were sharing food and chai and chat and music and everything, and it was just, it was everything. I'd stay here, you know, I'd just stay here for a bit. But the journey's not over. I'm going to go to the Punjab now, which is my home, with a different view of who I am. Pakistani.
Next time.
Welcome to the Punjab.
We both enter the mighty Punjab.
Coming home.
From this spectacular modern solar farm.
I've never been on a Pakistani train before.
We head to the Sufis in Lahore. And meet my mum in my family home of Karachi.
I travel from the futuristic state capital of Chandigarh.
In my head, Punjab's always been about farms and haystacks.
Meet women in the grip of addiction.
I was addicted to weed, hash and brown sugar.
Ending on the Pakistan border.
My first glimpse of Pakistan from the India border. But I think this is the closest that either of us have been.
Would you like to find out more about why India was partitioned and Pakistan created? Delve deeper into the history and psychology with our academic experts at www.bbc.co.uk/dangerous borders and follow the links to the Open University.